Malo lavali sui fo malelangi mama o loo ingo o so malo I teni shwalga. I want to say a big whawhitai tele lava and awhio mai to our very illustrious guest joining us in the studio today. When she's not reigning Miss Samoa, she is serving our communities as a registered nurse. Thank you for joining us today, Fonoifafo Mcfarland-Seumanu. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
How are you? Outside of Miss Samoa and being a registered nurse, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm back here in Aotearoa with my family and friends. I have a strong support system here, I think. Couldn't be any better.
So you actually came back to Aotearoa from Samoa back in September?
Yes.
And you jumped right back into work?
Yes, I had to undergo 2 weeks of quarantine. And then at that time, the public health nurses were deployed out and doing the swabs for out in the community.
Oh, the testing.
Yep, the testing. And then we did a bit of work in the managed isolation facilities right up until January this year, before we were pulled out again to roll out the vaccination program, COVID-19 vaccination programs.
I see. So with these COVID-19 vaccination, with that process, obviously being rolled out to the wider community and nation, I think was the expectation like October or something like that, I think?
Yeah.
What is the importance of our community, in particular our Pasifika and our Māori, receiving this COVID-19 vaccination? Why is it so important we get this?
Yeah, I think, it's not an unknown fact that our Pasifika and Māori community are most vulnerable and are at greater risk of getting COVID. So that's why it's important that we see a strong uptake within our community for this particular vaccine. Right now we're at the Auckland airport and we're prioritizing the border workers and their families. That's just begun. And we've seen a huge uptake of Pasifika people come through. So that's been amazing. And a lot of them have voiced that they've registered their families as well. And they're excited to get their families vaccinated through the community centres that we have made available. But yeah, that's what it is, that our people are most vulnerable and most at risk of getting COVID. So because of that, we should be vaccinated just to get, ahead of COVID so that we can get control of this virus and be one step closer to some normality, I guess.
Yeah, I think with a large number of our Pasifika and Māori community being based in South Auckland, and South Auckland being based so close to managed isolation facilities, quarantine facilities and the airport, we've seen those recent outbreaks in our South Auckland community. So yeah, I think that our community getting vaccinated is really important. And it's been really difficult for me over the last year. A lot of people that I looked up to, whether they be entertainers or influencers, have jumped onto this train of misinformation. And unfortunately, that misinformation has reached our community. And I'm very grateful for you as our Miss Samoa being a registered nurse as well and promoting the correct information. Unfortunately, like I said, that misinformation has reached our community. What would you say to those people who may be hesitant to receive the COVID-19 vaccination?
Yeah, the spread of misinformation is something that is very dangerous, and it's something that's been around for a while, but I think a lot of influencers, like you said, or a lot of other people are now taking advantage of the fact that it is a new vaccine, it's a new program, and really taking on what their understanding is and trying to influence the more vulnerable communities, and that's a worry. What was your question again?
Sorry. What would you say?
What would I say
to those who may be hesitant?
My advice this is what I advise my family and my friends and to anyone that is listening. We have reputable sites and we have resources and we have the tools that are out there right now with validated information. It's all available to us. It's as easy as putting it into Google. We have the Ministry of Health website. We have the Immunization Advisory Centre. We have the COVID-19 website. All these pages have specialized information on there that's made available for our community. So if you want to find out more about this vaccine or you have any concerns around it or any questions, make sure you're looking into the right places for this information. Social media, unfortunately, isn't one of those places. But to say that there is a COVID-19 Facebook page, the Ministry of Health New Zealand have created their Facebook pages as well. So just as long as you're getting it from validated sources, that's what I'd really like to push out into our communities. Misinformation spreads like wildfire, and unfortunately it spreads faster than the truth sometimes. So we need to make sure that we're honing into what's available to us.
So our cousins that have Facebook pages that say they have insiders in the Ministry of Health, they're not. So, but I should go to a website
go to
that's
the
ran by the
website.
ministry.
Yeah, keep up to date with what's on the news. Listen to Dr. Ashley Bloomfield.
Wonderful guy. I love that guy.
And we welcome these conversations. Like, it's totally normal to feel hesitant or reluctant or just unsure. But that's why you ask your health professionals. Have a conversation with your GP if you're unsure. You know, we have these people that are specifically trained for this vaccine that could give you the right information that will help you. So have those conversations. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
And there's plenty, like you said, websites that we can go to, such as covid19.govt.nz.
Yep.
There's also the Ministry of Health website.
Yep.
And did you say there were also some district health board websites we can also look at?
Yep. So each DHB has their own websites that probably have more information on it as well. But there's also the Immunisation Advisory Centre, also known as IMAC. You could look onto that website for any information regarding any vaccine, actually. But they do have a page specifically for COVID, and a lot of frequently asked questions with answers on there that I've found very helpful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And one last question before we let you go. What is your current opinion on the political climate of the 2021 Samoa general elections?
Oh my gosh.
No, you don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that. Fonoifafo, thank you very much for joining me today. Before we let you go, is there anything else you'd say to our community listening regarding this pandemic, or just anything that you'd like to let them know?
I think from first-hand experience and what I've witnessed out in the airport, we've had a lot of positive feedback from people, from the border workers that have come through, especially the family members that have gone through the whole vaccination process. So we just want to thank you and all of New Zealand for being supportive, supporting the efforts, and helping keep our community safe. And just referring back to the important note that we want to put here is, if you have any information, make sure you're asking your health professionals and seeking information from validated sources.
That was the reigning Miss Samoa registered nurse, Fonoifafo Mcfarland-Seumanu. Thank you again so much for joining us today. We do appreciate you, not only as a Miss Samoa community leader, but as one of our frontline workers. We're all very grateful, and I know as a Samoan, I'm very supportive of you, and I look forward to seeing the future.
Thank you so much. Same to you. It's great to be here.